The New York Knicks defeated the San Antonio Spurs 114 to 89, ending the Spurs 11-game win streak. So I'd say as a Spurs fan, this was disappointing, but sometimes you just got to deal with these losses. The Knicks are a good team. They're a top 3 team in the East. They're currently third place at 39-22. And it wouldn't surprise me if they eventually take the number 2 seed away from Boston. They're only like a game or two behind them. So it's very much a possibility. But going back to this game, I felt at the beginning of the game the Spurs are going to win easily. They jumped out to a 19-7 lead, and Jalen Brunson was struggling. Stephon Castle was hounding him, taking him out of the game. And you could see Brunson was getting frustrated. He was starting to get annoyed. I think he might have gotten an offensive foul or he pushed somebody out of frustration. But the Spurs were starting to get to him much the same way they got to Cade Cunningham. I think the difference maker was when Stephon Castle left the game and Dylan Harper started guarding him. And I think that was really the turning point because that's when Jalen Brunson started to catch fire. He was able to take advantage of the inexperienced Dylan Harper. Harper is a very talented rookie, but I feel this is one of those games where he was exploited as being a rookie. He did. I was going to say Jalen Brunson did some veteran like moves on him and was able to take advantage of him. There was one key play I felt, which was horseshit that the refs called, but it really allowed the Knicks to spur a successful comeback in the first quarter when they called a bullshit flagrant foul on Dylan Harper. And it was a horseshit foul because Jalen Brunson goes up for a 3-point shot, and they claim that Jalen Brunson landed on Dylan Harper's foot, which under the current NBA rules is a flagrant foul. But the replays showed he didn't land on Dylan Harper's foot. He had the perfect landing. But they still called a bullshit flagrant foul when that was probably just a regular foul. That really pissed me off. It was so laughable to the point that even Steve Javie, when asked about it on the replay, said that he didn't agree with it. He was shocked. He didn't think it should have been a flagrant foul, that it should have been a common foul. But the Knicks ended up getting 4 points off of that play. And after that play happened, I just think the momentum was completely shot out of the game. And yeah, the lead was only like, I believe, like 21 to 18 after that flagrant foul. So the Knicks took advantage of that momentum, and they finished the quarter up 22-21. Dylan Harper also committed another dumb foul on Jalen Brunson after that, giving him an and one play. So that pretty much gave them all the momentum, and they never really looked back for the rest of the game. They took full control, and to me, the biggest thing was all the Spurs pretty much played like crap outside of Victor Wembanyama and Devin Vassell. The rest of the team really didn't shoot well at all. They shot 42% overall from the field, 26 from three. So you give credit to the Knicks defense. They played a huge role in them shooting this poorly, but I also felt they missed some open shots that normally they would make. But the Knicks really wanted this game more. They were hustling. They were forcing turnovers. To me, that was really big. The Spurs are a team that hardly ever turns over the ball. They had 22 turnovers in this game. Victor had 7 turnovers. I felt like the dumbest strategy in this game really was Mitch Johnson, the Spurs head coach, having smaller guys guard Karl Anthony Towns while they would have Victor guard Josh Hart, thinking that that was going to work out. But the problem was they were able to force a miss doing that strategy, but then they couldn't get the rebound. So Cat would get a ton of offensive rebounds and punish them in that regard. To me, it was a failing strategy. Cat and other Knicks were able to get offensive rebounds whenever Victor was guarding Josh Hart. So it made all that effort on defense pretty much useless. And to me, it was just stupid. The Knicks ended up with 18 offensive rebounds in the game compared to the Spurs 10. That was another huge reason why the Knicks were able to win this game. I would say for like 3 quarters, it was not too out of distance for the Spurs. The Knicks would get the lead up to like 14, 15 points. Spurs would cut it down to 8, 9. But then in the fourth quarter, they just fell apart and they couldn't adjust. It was too much, the onslaught the Knicks gave them in the fourth quarter. The one thing I would also say that was an X factor for the Knicks was Mikal Bridges had a great game today, 10 of 17 from the field, 5 of 9 from 3, 25 points. That was kind of unexpected because I don't think he's been playing well of late. So that was huge. He really played out of his ass today. He was hitting all these fadeaway shots, falling backwards. It was going his way. And Mohamed Diawara was big for them off the bench. I know people look at the box scores and see he only shot 5 of 14, 4 of 13 from 3, but he hit some really timely shots earlier in the game. He was shooting very well. He hit timely threes, and that was crucial. But overall, the Knicks just wanted it more. They forced a lot of turnovers. They got a ton of rebounds, and that's why they were able to win this game. So you give credit to the Knicks. Hopefully the Spurs adjust. Going to see who they play next. They play the Sixers on Tuesday. And yeah, like I said, hopefully they can just take the Sixers game seriously and rebound from this loss. This loss kind of hurts when you look at the standings because they're right on OKC's heels. They're only like a few games behind, so these losses really matter because it could determine home court for the rest of the playoffs, at least in the Western Conference. But I don't have anything else to say about this.